You said you want to be confident, but all you do is sit around, scroll, compare, and overthink. Let me ask you something real. What have you actually built confidence in? You're not just going to wake up one day and feel confident out of nowhere. That's not how it works. Confidence isn't a personality trait. It's a byproduct of proof. Proof that you've done the work. Proof that you've put in the hours. Proof that when life hands you the mic, you know what to do with it. Let me give you an example. Take a singer, a real one, not someone who sings in the shower and hides. I'm talking about someone like Adele. Why do you think she walks onto a stage in front of tens of thousands of people and doesn't break down crying from fear? Why do you think she sings like her whole soul is on fire, steady, calm, present? It's not magic. It's not because she was born confident. It's because she has done that thing, that one thing, over and over and over again. She's mastered her skill. She knows she's not going to flop because she's prepared herself for this moment. She's walked into her confidence because she's earned it. So let me ask you again, what are you building confidence in? You can't just wish for confidence while you're sitting idle. Confidence is like a muscle. You have to train it. You have to pick something, anything, and get so good at it that when someone calls your name, you know you're ready. Let me tell you something. Real confidence doesn't have to scream. It doesn't need the room to notice it. It walks in quietly, but everyone feels it. It doesn't mean talking over everyone or needing to be seen every second. Confidence isn't about being the center of attention. It's about being centered, even when no one's looking. But let's be honest, you don't feel that. You feel like a fraud sometimes. You put on the outfit, you post the picture, you talk big, but deep down, when it's quiet, when no one's hyping you up, you shrink, you second guess. You wonder, am I really that girl, or am I just pretending again? I used to be that. The girl who knew how to act like she had it all together, who was bubbly, outgoing, friendly, loud even. But behind closed doors, I was scared of being misunderstood, terrified of being rejected. And the worst part? I didn't even know who I was outside of people's opinions. So today we're stripping it all back because fake confidence is exhausting. And the truth is, the loudest girl in the room is often the most insecure. But real confidence, it's quieter than you think. And I'm going to show you how to build it, for real this time. Real confidence is built in silence. It shows up in how you carry yourself when no one is clapping for you. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who didn't say much, but when they walked into the room, the energy shifted? They didn't demand attention, they didn't fight for validation, but something about them just felt solid. That's real confidence. Now compare that to someone who can't stop talking about themselves. They're loud, they brag, they interrupt. They need to be the funniest, the prettiest, most liked, but you can feel the insecurity leaking through the cracks. That was me. I didn't realize it at the time, but the reason I always needed to be seen was because I didn't feel seen. Not by myself, not by anyone. I was performing confidence, not living it. And maybe that's you too. Maybe your confidence only exists on Instagram. Maybe it crumbles as soon as you're around someone prettier, smarter, more put together. Maybe you've confused confidence with control, or confidence with attention, or confidence with being that girl even when it's burning you out. Let me be real with you. Real confidence doesn't compete. It doesn't need to. It's personal, and you'll never unlock it if you're too busy trying to be seen instead of trying to know who you are when nobody's watching. The good news is, confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about what real confidence actually looks like and how to start stepping into it one uncomfortable decision at a time. Because that's the next thing you're not going to want to hear. Confidence isn't built in comfort, it's built in discomfort. If you're waiting to feel confident before you do the scary thing, you'll be waiting forever. Confidence doesn't come before the moment, it comes after. Let me say that again. Confidence is what you earn after you've done the hard thing. Not before, not during, after. That's the mistake most people make. They think confident people were just born that way, born fearless, born bold, born magnetic. But the truth, confident people are just used to choosing discomfort. They've had hard conversations. They've walked into rooms alone. They've failed publicly. They've been told no. They've been laughed at. They've been underestimated. And they showed up anyway, over and over and over again. That's where real confidence is built. Not in how you look, but in how you move through fear. What are you avoiding because it's uncomfortable? That gym class you want to go to, but you're afraid of looking like the newbie. That business idea you have, but you're scared no one will support you. That video you want to post, but you think you don't look confident enough yet. Stop waiting to feel ready. Do it uncomfortable. Do it nervous. Do it with your voice shaking, your knees weak, your heart racing. Because every time you choose discomfort on purpose, you build a new layer of trust with yourself. And confidence is just that, self-trust. And that brings us to the next thing you need to understand. Confidence has nothing to do with looks and everything to do with energy. Most people think confidence is about beauty. Perfect skin, a snatched waist, expensive perfume, flawless makeup. That's not confidence. That's aesthetic. True confidence doesn't live in your face. It lives in your energy. And if your energy is off, no amount of beauty will save you. That's why you can walk into a room and see someone who isn't the prettiest by society standards, yet the whole room turns when she speaks. And at the same time, you've probably met someone who's physically stunning, but their energy is flat, insecure, approval-seeking, fragile. Shame is the real reason most people never feel confident. You're not struggling with confidence because you're shy. You're struggling with confidence because deep down, you're ashamed. Ashamed of how you've acted in the past. Ashamed of how many times you've let people walk all over you and smiled through it like you were okay. And now every time you try to step into something new, whether it's a new relationship, a new goal, or even just expressing yourself, you feel like a fraud because you haven't forgiven yourself yet. That's the real reason you hesitate. That's why you shrink when you speak. That's why your voice shakes when you say what you need. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you're not capable. It's because you're carrying unprocessed shame like a weight tied to your chest. Let me tell you something I wish someone told me years ago. Confidence doesn't start with fixing who you are. It starts with forgiving who you were. I used to replay moments in my head like a broken record. The time I begged someone to love me when they didn't even respect me. The days I said yes when every bone in my body was screaming no. And then I try to step into a new situation and wonder why I felt small. It's because I hadn't cleaned up the mess inside me. I was still walking around with emotional debt, pretending to be someone new but still ashamed of the old version of me. Shame is the silent killer of confidence. And if you never confront it, it becomes the voice you believe, even when the world is clapping for you. So how do you break out of that? You stop trying to erase your past, and instead, you own it. You can't shame yourself into growth. You can only love yourself into power. Confidence is what happens when you stop hiding who you've been and start standing on it. If your younger self walked into the room right now, crying, insecure, and scared, would you scream at her? Or would you hold her and tell her she deserves more? That's exactly how you need to start treating yourself now. Not with judgment, not with punishment, with grace. Because that's where real confidence comes from. Not pretending you've always had it together, but knowing you've been through hell and still found a way to show up. The most confident people you've ever seen are not confident because they're perfect. They're confident because they've built a quiet, unshakable relationship with themselves. They trust themselves, not because they always make the right choice, but because they always come back to themselves when they fall. That's the part nobody teaches you. They tell you to fake it till you make it, or speak louder, or walk into the room like you own it. But none of that works if you don't trust yourself to stand alone after the room empties. I had to rebuild my confidence from scratch. Not by posting quotes, not by pretending I was healed, but by doing these things, real things that actually changed how I saw myself. I picked a skill, and mastered it like my life depended on it. I started keeping promises to myself, even the small ones. I removed people who made me doubt my worth. I stopped over-explaining and let my silence speak. I faced the things I was scared of and did them anyway. And before I even realized it, confidence stopped feeling like something I was chasing and started feeling like who I'd become. Real confidence comes from doing the work, from knowing you're not just talking, you've actually earned the right to hold your head up. You've trained, you've failed, you've standed back up, you've done what most people avoid. That's where the quiet power comes from. Not noise, not image, just truth. The more you show up for yourself, the less you need the world to clap, because deep down, you already know who you are.